Okay, welcome everyone to this full day on bridging the gap between developers and testers. So my name is Etienne Tremblay. I'm an associate director at Fujitsu Consulting in Montreal, actually. I am an MVP in the ALM stack. So an MVP is Microsoft's most valuable professional. This is a recognition that Microsoft gives people that do shows like this, actually. You know, we talk to people, we train people. We talk at DevTeach, so I'm a speaker at DevTeach as well this year. So that's what basically an MVP is, and I have the ALM distinction because I've been working with TFS for the last about 6 years, since beta 1 or alpha 1 of the 2005 version. So I've seen it go and grow. I've done a lot of input for the product so it gets better, and there's a lot of stuff in the 2010 version that are things that we ask as MVPs to put in there. And we created an email for this show called bridging.the.gap, really crazy email, at live.com, so that essentially if you need to ask us a question, send it over there. We're all going to look at that.
Hi, my name is Vincent Grondin. I'm a .NET Solution Architect at Fujitsu in Montreal. I'm also a C# MVP, so my distinction is C#. I'm also the user group leader, one of the user group leader for the Montreal chapter of the .NET user group. And you can also reach me at bridging.thegap@live.com.
All right, so what we'll cover today, there's a lot of stuff we're going to cover. We're going to start by essentially migrating from a Visual Source Safe library or a database all the way to surprises. So I'll keep that in there. So we're going to migrate from VSS to TFS. We're actually going to run some automated builds. So we're going to talk about the builds, how that works, why you need that. We're also going to go and migrate our backlog, so our work items and stuff like that. And then we're actually going to flip over, start a bit of talking about all the new tools, the manual tester tools that are new to 2010. So we're going to see all about that. So we're going to add a new tester to our team. We're going to define some tests, and we're going to fix some bugs. All right. We're going to show the new IntelliTrace feature for developers, so you guys can see a little bit how that works out. And then finally, we're going to go into and identify a bug in a production scenario. So we're going to be a development team doing our thing, but then we're going to have a bug in production. So we're going to actually flip over and kind of see how that works out in the whole ALM stack. And then we're going to fix that. And we're going to go, and that's the surprise. We're going to talk about lab management. So if you've heard a bit of lab management, you're going to see what that is all about. And that's really a very, very cool feature. So you'll see that. And then we're going to actually automate some code and deploy that in the lab. So we're going to automate some tests, some automated tests. All right. So that's pretty much how we're going to go and do the whole day. So it just gives you a little bit of a preview here. The products we will use, we're using Visual Studio 2010 Ultimate, and the features we're going to show are MS Test, IntelliTrace, and Coded UI. Those are primarily the new features. The rest of the features you guys know about, you've worked since 2005. They're not necessarily new in 2010. They're just working better performance and all that. But essentially, we're going to cover those things. MS Test, obviously, it was there before. We're just going to show you we have some unit tests in our project. Also, we're going to use, obviously, Team Foundation Server. The whole point of having an ALM stack. So we're going to use, obviously, version control, work item management, lab management, and finally, team build. Very important concepts. Finally, we're going to use the new SKU or box that Microsoft ships with 2010 called Visual Studio Test Professional. And in there, we're going to show the Microsoft Test Manager and the Microsoft Test Runner. And you'll see all about that and what they are and what they bring to a team. So those are the products. We are using an application that a gentleman called Josh Smith actually wrote on a blog. So we have the blog right there. Josh actually created an MVVM application to demo a little bit WPF and all that. And instead of us creating a calculator to demo stuff, which is kind of boring, we used an application that had a little bit more beef to it. So the examples are more real life, if you want. So it's going to be nicer for that. And Josh actually wrote a book called Advanced MVVM. So if you need to learn a little bit about MVVM, then you can do that. So we'd like to say a very special merci. Today's presentation, how is that going to work out? Normally, you guys come over here and you kind of look at us talking to you about some products. That's fun, but for us, we thought that it would be better if me and Vince are actually going to interact as if we're a team. So we're going to talk to each other. We're not going to look at you guys, all right? So you guys are looking in on a working team, right? And you see, okay, how are we going to interact between each other? So don't expect us to look at you when we're actually demoing stuff. We're explaining to each other things. So put yourself in the role of the person that's receiving the information from either me or Vincent talking to me. So then you can actually understand how things are going to go. I think you're going to enjoy this. We've practiced quite a bit for that, and it's actually pretty cool. You guys are kind of just like the matrix kind of looking in on what's happening here. So good stuff. All right, so it's a play. We're going to call it a technical play because we're actually going to play with each other, but we're going to show you some technical stuff. All right, so you think you're going to enjoy something like that? All right. So, so hopefully you're going to enjoy this. This is pretty much how it's going to go. All right? So let's go.